if you're a kid of the 90s, like me, there were a couple of great properties that you loved. From DC, there was, of course, Batman, and even better, Batman Beyond. But from Marvel, it was most definitely Spider-Man and X-Men. The comics with Jim Lee and the amazingly overproduced X-Men series from the 90s, and the Todd McFarlane run of Spider-Man, which really propelled the style and design of that spider. From games like X-Men and Spider-Man, the arcade games, and even better, the games for Super Nintendo. For some reason, this time in games just holds a special place in my heart, even though I never owned a Super Nintendo. My parents said, "You already have a Nintendo, you don't need another one." So I had to wait until 1998 when I was finally able to get the N64, and with that, a new console. So this area of gaming is kind of new to me. Thank God for emulators.
Long live emulation.
A couple of these properties had killer animated shows that kind of grew up with you. Batman started dealing with more adult themes and started having blood. Spider-Man was still pretty childish, but started dealing with larger cosmic and interdimensional forces. And with X-Men, they adapted large storylines into smaller, digestible 30-minute stories. So the storylines moved extremely fast. The X-Men animated series ended in 1997. I can really say that I never really watched all the way to the end of the series, but I did hold the series in high regard for the time. In tandem with the arcade game, Brown and Gold Wolverine Forever. Recently, Marvel has been getting more into animation with the What If series, as well as the Marvel Zombies series coming out later this year, I think. Who knows? All of which is connected somehow to the MCU, which nowadays has a sort of stigma. Every show on Disney Plus from Marvel has been tremendously lackluster. I still haven't watched She-Hulk. Should I? Is there even a point? But I haven't particularly enjoyed any outing from Marvel in the TV realm. The only character I believe that has come out unscathed is Baron Zemo, which we actually got more in depth with his character, and he has been shown to be true to who he is and a force to be reckoned with. So with all that goodwill, the announcement of X-Men 97 made everyone cautious, but not particularly excited. I saw the toys out at Target months ago because this series was supposed to be out at that time. I guess it's hard to change the date on deals like that. And we started hearing some rumblings about some of the characters. For instance, Morph was non-binary. Everyone lost their minds. I personally don't care. It sounded like Morph kind of lost who he was and was just becoming amorphous, which means to have no shape. But he actually does have a shape kind of, and he looks like the Greendale human being from Community.
Holy crap. Sorry. Hey, say hello to our ethnically neutral mascot, the Greendale human being.
Although he does show his true face at one point as well. So when the show finally came out, I was actually impressed by the first 2 episodes. I made a video talking about it and hope they keep up the quality throughout the season. And I am very happy to report that they have. It was an amazing show and it is getting all types of buzz. But what makes this show actually work versus all the other shows not working? Well, let's dive into the world of X-Men 97.
Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream. Everything he built. Everything he fought for. Now belongs to me. My X-Men.
First off, the show is very faithful to X-Men comics, in my opinion. To me, X-Men is soap opera and cool powers. Now, I haven't read a lot of X-Men comics, but from what I've read and the original animated show, that is exactly the formula. So, what does that do to us, the viewer? It gives us time to know the characters on a very deep, emotional level and have them go through extremely serious and traumatic events. And the characters actually react to these events in extremely human ways. The show starts about 1 year after the original series ended, with Xavier leaving Earth with the Shire, and everyone basically believing Xavier to be dead. It starts on a badass note of the X-Men saving a young mutant named Roberto from the anti-mutant group Friends of Humanity, who are using Sentinel tech. They see this and they work to hunt down Boulevard Trask, the one who created the Sentinels. They find the location using Jean's psychic ability on Gyrick, who is in prison, which also comes with a frightening premonition of the future. The Blackbird is attacked and destroyed by Sentinels, forcing the X-Men to find a way safely to the ground. Using the Flyer X-Men's abilities, they grab everyone they can, except for Scott, Cyclops, who lands using his optic blast energy. And this may be the most badass way possible to land. Cyclops was always my favorite growing up. I liked leader characters, like him and Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The X-Men then find the Sentinels, do some amazing team action, find Boulevard and the Master Mold, and destroy it. To say the action here is phenomenal would be an understatement. It is great to see these powers and abilities, and again seeing heroes doing work and taking it to the bad guys. The end of the episode shows Jean and Scott making the decision to leave the X-Men and raise their child together, away from the trials and tribulations that being an X-Men entails. What's great about this episode is that it also shows the template per se about what the show is going to be. There's going to be an overall plot for sure, but intermixed between that is a personal interactions between lovers, friends, and overall this family. With that, the mansion's alarm system shows an intruder, where they find Magneto in Xavier's office and saying that Xavier has left the X-Men to him. Throughout the season, we then see many different storylines from the comics, such as the trial of Magneto, as he tries to be a leader of the X-Men, which then comes into a semi-conflict with Scott. Magneto's arrival also awakens past rivalries and loves, with Magnus and Rogue rekindling their something that happened in the past, which comes into conflict per se with Remy, aka Gambit. The overall plot sees the X-Men sort of being led by Magneto, Storm losing her powers due to protecting Magneto from the Executioner, a human vigilante, a Jean Grey clone showing up to the door in episode 2, or is it really? Sinister kidnaps Nathan, who is then infected with a technovirus and taken with Bishop to the future, where they could find a cure. The Jean at the door, which is actually the real Jean Grey, and the Jean that birthed Nathan, is Madeline Pryor, a clone made by Mr. Sinister. Magneto proves himself to be able to lead them and would like the X-Men to train, which makes Jubilee upset because she wants to go to the arcade for her 18th birthday. He then gets nominated to run the mutant state of Genosha. This sets up an extremely pivotal episode of the series and the entire world of this universe. There is a massive attack on Genosha by a monstrous master mold machine, which absolutely destroys Genosha. Many mutants die, thousands of mutants die. But the X-Men and Magneto try their very best to defend everyone they can. The emotion in this attack is palpable, with Magneto talking to Leech, saying not to be afraid, which is very touching considering where Magnus is from and what he has gone through with the Holocaust. The next touching part was the death of Gambit. The name's Gambit, remember it, as he sacrifices himself for every last mutant on Genosha. Rogue goes to him crying, lost in emotion, and says that she can't feel you. Not long before the attack, Rogue ended up regretting choosing Magnus and choosing to be with Remy, and not by Magneto's side at the head of Genosha. Magneto understood. The choice of words here is also very important. Rogue was concentrating on the physical touch that Magneto was able to provide, a human need to be touched. But she realized that Remy offered something else, still a feeling. So when Rogue says, "I can't feel you," she means deeper. His soul, his heart, something beneath the surface. Truly amazing stuff here. We are then introduced to a character that actually came out in the comics around the same time as the original series was on the air. It is revealed that a villain named Bastion is the one who sent and created the Mother Mold. In addition, he has created a new type of Sentinel, the Prime Sentinels, which are actually people that have been basically infected by tech and turned into sleeper agents. It's an interaction with Trask, who is basically being held hostage, that we see that he has actually been turned into a Prime Sentinel, which in turn decimates Rogue as she attacks him in anger due to Remy's death. We then pick up with Xavier and what he has been up to. He actually has improved and has accepted the hand in marriage of Naramani, the Empress of the Shire, who are in a cosmic war with the Kree. Also, great touch seeing comic-accurate version of Roman the Accuser from the Kree, really showing how powerful the Shire and Deathbird actually are. The Council is questioning if Xavier is even able to rule alongside Naramani, so Xavier proves his psychic ability to them by bringing them into the astral plane, where he then feels what has happened to Genosha, knowing he now needs to return. Storm also goes through her trials with Forge on getting her powers back, basically beating a demon while also saving Forge, who has been infected with some type of poison. And now, Storm returns for the conclusion of the season. Tolerance is Extinction is the final 3 episodes in a truly crazy arc. Cable returns, and Jean, Scott, and him are a family unit per se. And Cable informs the whole team what Bastion does in the future, and that the attack on Genosha is not a point in time that he can travel back to and change. Prime Sentinels then activate and attack the mansion and other places around the Earth. Once the attack is done, the mansion has been destroyed, Xavier shows back up, and now it's time to take the fight to Bastion. This attack is put on hold from Magneto basically setting off an EMP around the world. The plan is made and we head to an old base of the X-Men, which they then don their nostalgic costumes. Thank God they got brown and gold Wolverine. I can almost die happy. And Skullcap Cyclops, which I do dig as well. Although I don't know about the yellow undies. Yes. Bastion is employing the help of Mr. Sinister, who is able to create the virus type of Prime Sentinel infection that has taken over many humans. Magneto was not killed during the attack of Genosha and was actually just captured. He is freed by the UN lady, and Magneto basically sets off the worldwide EMP that takes away all electronics. Within this mass blackout, we see the chaos that the world is having, including Iron Man, Captain America, Silver Samurai, Daredevil, and many other Marvel heroes in this universe, which is truly phenomenal to see. This animated universe is alive and well and even has a Spider-Man with a Mary Jane from their animated show. So the canon ending is that he found her. Magneto is able to recruit Rogue and Sunspot, who protect him as he hides out in Asteroid M. Wolverine tries to stop Magneto once and for all, but is propelled backwards and extremely injured by Magneto as he rips the metal out of Wolverine's own body. Xavier has no choice but to enter Magnus's mind and get to the bottom of his issues and his troubles. He is able to subdue Magnus, but is suffering in the process as well. He had to literally wipe Magneto's mind and fill it back in with good memories and morals. Now, I do have an issue with this, but Magneto is an extremely powerful mutant, Omega level, who already proved his destructive power to the entire world. I really thought they were going to go with the Onslaught route, which I know wasn't a popular run in the comics, if they would be able to adapt it for episodic treatment. And in the end, Magneto returns to power and is able to save the world from Asteroid M accidentally crashing, but then they are blipped all out of existence. 6 months pass, we see Forge forming a new X-Men, with Bishop returning to the mansion, and Forge has a wall of mutants including Shadowcat, Emma Frost, Magik, Havoc, Iceman, Scarlet Witch, and others, and their whereabouts. He's creating a new team, but Bishop explains that something or someone yanked them through time. So now it's a time hop season that's going to happen next season. Rogue, Nightcrawler, Magneto, Beast, and Xavier are in the ancient past, where we see a revealed person who was being accosted by guards to be Apocalypse from the past. And in the future, Scott and Jean meet a child named Nathan, who I believe is their kid. Amazing end to an amazing season, and with a whole world of opportunities await. As Beast puts it,
oh dear.
With only 10 episodes, Disney and Marvel have done what I believe to be impossible. Actually making stories, characters, and people that can be cared for, empathized with, and sympathized with, and who we root for. Amazing lessons about love, family, children, friends that can be made for 30-minute shows. The costumes and animations are great. The art style is insane. And they didn't shy away from the men and women here being sexily designed. I'll just say that. Great job. And very true to the comics and the series that it is continuing. The only part of the overall series, story-wise, that I can talk smack on is the breakneck pace. When thinking about it also though, they are still able to make the characters and actions meaningful. So while they are burning through certain storylines, they are still well paced and every beat is dealt with very well. I have no gripes about that really. The soap opera parts, Cyclops and Jean and Wolverine, Cyclops talking about his father, abandonment, how he can't make the same mistakes like his dad did, Roberto lying to his parents but seeing that they're not surprised. People have hooked up in the past are hooking up now. Love triangles and really weird love triangles. It's really great to see romance and relationships, actual ones, in a Marvel property, where we only really have sort of seen Tony and Pepper, and kind of Steve and Peggy, and a little bit of Gamora and Peter. Those are the only ones that have really been items. I feel like every other relationship has gone away quickly and not even given enough time in the movies at all. So I'm very happy to see them embracing the horniness that is X-Men. I also like the concentration on Cyclops. The movies have done really bad damage to the Cyclops character and to the brand of Cyclops. This series not only brings him back into light, but brings him up a peg or two on the power levels. This is truly the Cyclops that I want to see in a Marvel property. The Omega badass that he is. Even though I don't think he's Omega level, but he is truly powerful. And if you weren't a fan of Magneto before, this show will definitely turn you into one. I am going to absolutely go back, read some of the best Magneto arcs, because this show made me love the character even more. There really isn't enough positive stuff that I can say about the series. It truly is a shame that it is on Disney Plus, because I do believe that the subscription really isn't worth it, much more than this series. I heard Bad Batch was good from Star Wars, but still not worth the subscription. And with prices going up even further, if you want to watch a month, that may be worth it. I really can't wait to see what else they do with this series, and if the future Marvel animated shows use this as a basis. We may be in for a real treat in the near future, and I would actually be excited to see what comes next. Now, what may have happened to Beau DeMayo? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure other Disney employees have done some absolutely terrible things, and if the rumors of why he was fired were true, then it really shocks me that they did fire him because of that. All of this is just pure speculation at the time of recording, but him and the writing team have done an amazing job here, and I really do wish for more of the same in the future. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to smash the like button, as it really does help the channel. If you didn't like the video, I thank you very much for watching this long, and hope you have a great day.